So we're at the Test NZ baseline event. Here's the lady behind it, even though she won't try and claim the credit for it, I'm sure, from the headache clinic, Helen Tafui. Helen, give us a little bit of an idea about what today's all about.
So today is about offering our community baseline concussion testing, which is usually an expensive test that's done for our professional athletes, but we want to make that available for our community, our kids, our club players, anyone who's at risk of sustaining a concussion, so that we can eliminate preventable long-term post-concussion syndrome.
Because tell us about your story in detail as well too. So you, as I say, the headache clinic, that's your baby, and I guess you came at it from, if I'm not mistaken, a bit of a concussion background literally yourself.
I did actually, yeah. So a simple injury that just resulted in months of persistent symptoms, and persistent concussion, it weighs down your life. It just holds you back from really living life and enjoying all the things that we should be able to enjoy.
So we're going to wander in, because Zoe and Liam, from Sharks' point of view, are in there getting tested. So tell us a little bit about, without getting into the detail, but what that's all about, what you actually do in there.
Yeah, well, we're doing a 10-step comprehensive baseline. So it's going through and testing a wide range of measures, so that if they sustain a concussion during the season, that we know where their healthy function level is, and we know with some certainty when the brain has actually healed from their concussion, because we know that relying on symptom resolution is a really poor marker of when the brain has actually recovered.
This will shock you, I'm not a doctor, but I'm going to get it. It's not a straight line thing though, is it? You know, in terms of this, so the way someone responds can be completely different to someone else, yeah?
Yes, totally, yeah. So some people will find that they have full resolution of their symptoms within 7 days. Yeah. But if you were to test the brain hasn't actually fully resolved between 28 and 32 days. So if they're actually at a really high risk of sustaining a second head knock between full resolution of symptoms and the healing of the brain. So if that happens, then you're looking at a really extended recovery from that second impact. So the key is, if we can eliminate that second impact from happening, then we get full resolution, and the players are feeling good to get back out there and continue playing.
Helen, thank you so much for putting something like this on. It's really important work. I know you're sort of piling it down here from a Southland point of view too, in your own backyard. So that in itself's awesome as well, and we'll go in and see how the boys are getting on.
Sounds good.
Right, well the boys have been in. So Zoe, talk us through it. How did that go?
Oh, it was good, but it was a lot tougher than you thought.
So tell us what they put you through.
So they put us through a series of questions. So they asked us to remember, I think it was like 10 or so words, and then we had to repeat them back to them. Then it was numbers backwards, so they said a sequence of numbers, and we had to say it backwards to them. And I feel like we know it, it's just you're overthinking it. Like you've got someone asking you a question, so a little bit harder than what it made out to be, but yeah.
So some reaction tests and a bit of balance stuff on there too, Liam?
Yeah, it was a lot tougher than what you'd think. Like, just standing on one foot with your eyes closed, it's alright for a little bit, but you get to a stage and you just start overbalancing and overcorrecting, and it ends a lot worse than what you think.
Bear in mind this wasn't a test, it's not a competition between you two, although you were directly comparing numbers and grip strength and reaction times.
Of course.
Everything's a competition.
Life's a competition.
Yeah, of course.
Concussion, have you boys actually had any of that during the career?
I've been knocked down and I blacked out a little bit when I was 16 years old, but I don't think it was diagnosed as a concussion. Like, I went to hospital, but then I was released about an hour later, so playing the next day. So I guess no, I haven't had a concussion.
I've had a couple of concussion tests, but never been diagnosed with a concussion.
You can see the value in something like this though, right? You know, in terms of giving you the idea, as Helen was telling us earlier, about the baseline that you can obviously have, you know, for going forward.
Well, definitely, I guess from an athlete's point of view as well, like it's nice to know that you've got that there, so coming back, like if you get concussed, you know what you need to do to actually get back into competition, so yeah, very important, I think.
Yeah, looking after your brain, you only get one of them.
Well said, big fella. Good work. There it is. That's the quote. Yeah. Thanks, boys.
Sweet.
Appreciate it, mate.